Hello there, welcome to Book Positive. Today I have Calling In by Loretta Ross. How to start making change with those you'd rather cancel. We don't agree with people 100%. I don't think there's anyone in this world who I would agree 100%. There are people I would agree 90%, 80%, 70%, 50%. There's some people I totally disagree. I can't even think about any agreement. The only disagreement and conflict and confrontation is a thing that comes to my mind when I think about some people. And I would rather call them out or cancel them. But Loretta tells us to pause and not call them out, not cancel them. Try calling in. Try having a conversation. She wrote this book taking us through several incidents in her life as an activist, human rights activist, as a professor. Her experience working with the prisoners and convicted rapists, talking to them about feminism, talking to white supremacists, and getting people who for years have been part of the neo-Nazi bandwagon, rationalizing with them, talking to them, conversing with them, and making a lasting change. Sometimes we live in a world where we think it is never possible to have a conversation. Everywhere people are disgruntled. They have disagreement. Every conversation ends up in confrontation and conflict. It makes it very difficult for us to even think that people who have difference of opinion can have a sane, civilized conversation. It makes it so easy in the time of social media for people to fight with each other, for people to hide behind masks and spread hatred. It makes it more and more difficult for us to focus on real meaningful conversations when everyone's attention span is about 30 seconds to 1 minute. That's where it's important for us to identify groups that we don't agree with, and identify people within that group with whom we can have a conversation. We might avoid those conversations to make ourselves comfortable or not put ourselves in a uncomfortable position. But it's important we have that conversation. It is important to raise our disagreement in a civilized manner so that two people can talk and try to change rather than fighting with each other. This book, I think, is more important today than ever because everyone can be in this state of constant confrontation on ideas. How do we even learn to talk to each other? How do we break away from this thought of hatred, this thought of fear? How do we get rid of this othering mentality that we might have when we set apart an entire group, right, left, center, whatever it is, based on religion, race, ideologies, completely cancelling out a group of people? How do we overcome that? I think I highly recommend you to read the book. Not just read the book, but also, and that's the one thing that I decided after reading the book, was to find people with whom I've had strong disagreements, and I even have ideological differences with them, and try to talk to them. And something Loretta mentioned, which really hit me, was we are never going to be 100% agreeing with everyone. I don't think I agree with anyone in this world 100%. But sometimes we agree with people on some issues 70% of the time. And yet, the other 30% that we disagree is what takes most of our time. And over a period of time, we never get to work on the 70% of things that we agree on. And as a result, it is our society, that is at loss. Thank you, Loretta, for the book. Calling In. Calling In was a Knock Tran, the trans writer. He came up with this, coined this word, this phrase, calling in. That is opposite of calling out. That person did not do it. But instead of calling out that person, let's call that person in and have a conversation. It will work. Because we cannot, if we all end up canceling each other, there's nothing that will be left for us to have a conversation. You guys take care. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you all again. Next episode. Whatever book I read, I'll bring it to you. Thank you.